for joining us on the Nikki Medora Show. I am Nikki Medora with my glasses on still. She is Kim McAllister. I swear to God, I'm getting blinder by the day, so I'm taking them off. Hello, my friend. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm looking for the right lip gloss. I'm good. How are
Look at you
you?
getting all beautiful today, and I'm just
Well,
trying to
it's
keep
been a day,
myself together with
you
my
know.
headphones on. I've
Mm-hmm.
had a very interesting day today. Oh, before we keep going, hit that subscribe button, my friends, and thank you for joining us on this
And the like.
Cocktails and News. Are you
Mm-hmm.
cocktailing with me or are you iced teaing with me?
I am fizzy watering with you.
Ooh, you know what
I'm
I haven't tried?
I'm coconut LaCroixing it with you today.
You know what I haven't tried is that
Hmm.
poppy. That poppy, it's like a different type of soda. And then did you hear who was in Livermore yesterday?
Does it have opium in it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's like it's on the commercials. But did you hear who was in Livermore
No.
yesterday? And I can't believe we missed it.
Was it
Who
Matthew
knows who was in
McConaughey?
Livermore yesterday in the comments? Who knows?
Hmm.
You don't know? Did you? And it's so weird. I saw it on social media and I was like, what is she doing there? Who's going to win it in the comments?
Was it Kamala Harris? No, who was it?
No, it's crazy. Come on. Who in the comments knows? Yeah. Kay Plant. It was Michelle Obama.
In Livermore?
She, a Livermore Costco. She is behind this new, like, healthy drink. And she was hawking it at a Livermore Costco.
That is wild.
If I walked in to a Livermore Costco and Michelle Obama, well, one, I would like lose my ass, right? I'd be like, oh my God, Michelle Obama's here.
Everyone knew except me.
Yeah.
You know what? That would have been worth the drive to Livermore.
Oh my God. Yes.
Takes a substantial amount of time to get there from Petaluma, but I would have done it.
I would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how she made it there. And like, I'm assuming the press had to know, the Secret Service had to know. I mean, there has to be some stuff set up for Michelle freaking Obama to be in a Livermore
I'm sure.
Costco. And I was thinking this is fake. Like this is some sort of
You're
AI.
like, nah.
Why was it a Livermore Costco? You would think it would be, I don't know, a different one, but yeah, Livermore Costco.
The San Jose Costco, the San Francisco Costco.
You know what I mean? Just random Livermore Costco. Yeah, so she's behind this healthy drink.
Why would they send her to Livermore? I mean, it's kind
of
parts of the East Bay can be pretty red. I mean, if you're going to have Michelle Obama fans that are going to be excited to see her, then maybe send her to the Costco in Marin. You know,
don't be hoity-toity. Look at you being all hoity-toity.
I'm not thinking hoity-toity. I'm thinking blue. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I mean, she was there, and like maybe she wants to bring her healthy beverages to, the people that want it. And maybe she wants to try to turn some red voters
blue. It's her own personal way of campaigning.
There you go. But yeah, so she was so she's trying to, I think it's called Plutzi or something like that. And so yeah, she's hawking some new drinks because remember, Michelle Obama was behind the whole school lunches and making them healthier. And a bunch of conservatives were like, you're trying to make school lunches healthier and none of the kids are eating it. But she wanted to like have gardens and everything like that. I'm just telling you, the school that I work at, you want to talk about gardens. You walk up and down this school and they have the best garden ever. I mean, huge garden, but you just walk down like the middle. They have like squashes and pumpkins. I mean, amazing gardens. You just, the staff are spoiled there. So it's amazing. And now you have to do it so kids can see, all of these fruits and vegetables that they can have access to.
I have a garden story.
Okay, go.
A garden scandal.
Ooh, garden. House. There's not many scandals involving gardens that I know of, unless you're burying somebody there. But okay.
It's a scandal. Mm-hmm. It's a juicy scandal.
Okay.
So in my front yard, there is a lawn, but it's not like a beautiful lawn. Okay. It's a lawn that we don't water very much, except for when it's 100 degrees out. And most of it just kind of stays green. And it would be horrible looking crabgrass, but for that it's mowed and taken care of, so it looks like a lawn, right?
Okay.
Except for this one patch that's brown. And no matter what we do, we can't get anything to grow there. The sun shines right in this spot. It's really hot in this spot. So it's kind of yellowish brown in this one little corner of lawn.
Okay.
And so my husband's at the nursery, and he's thinking, what can I put in that corner that would thrive in direct sun?
Okay.
And he decides, see, I'd rather have it just yellow, but he decides that he's going to plant an artichoke in the
That needs a
corner,
lot of sun, and it does need a lot of sun. That's true.
right in the corner of the lawn. So it looks like lawn with a weird plant growing out of it. What the hell
But it's
is
in the
that?
corner, but it's in the corner.
It's in the corner, but like very obvious. So I say, what the hell? Why did you plant something in the middle of the lawn?
Right.
Are we just turning it into something else now? He's like, well, it was a brown and I thought I could put something there and feed you
Right.
all at the same time because we love artichokes.
I love artichokes. Yes.
And it looks horrible. Like it looks awful. So he doubles down. And then he gets those like decorative cement bricks
Okay.
and makes a circle around this artichoke.
Like a planter around it?
Yes. In the middle of the lawn. Well, off to the side of the lawn, but still in the middle of the lawn is what it looks like.
Oh, no.
So my mom then tells another family member who lives my mom lives right next door. And sometimes she comes over because she likes to plant things here. She's the garden fairy. She's a big gardener.
Okay.
And she said, I think they planted the artichoke there to make me mad.
Why?
I don't know, because she takes pride in how our yard looks and how her yard looks.
Oh, so like they're just doing this to like get under your skin as entertainment?
Yeah, so I had to tell her, I had to talk to her today about, Mom, we didn't do it because we were trying to upset you or diss you in any way.
Oh.
We did it because it was a brown spot,
Well,
whatever. And I agree that it looks horrible. And I've told my husband it looks awful. But you know what? It's behind a fence. You can't see it from the street. So it is only affecting me when I walk out of the house. That's it.
well,
It's
your
okay.
husband knows that there's actual paint that people use on grass that doesn't grow. Like you can paint brown
Oh.
spots. I know somebody that does it.
I was
Like,
not aware of this. I mean, I don't know
and
if we
he's a
want chemicals
realtor.
on the ground anyway, but I didn't know.
No, he's a realtor, and I just found this out from his wife. So if you're watching, sorry. But apparently he's a realtor, a very
Yeah.
successful realtor, and he hates brown spots, and obviously in the summertime, you want your grass to look green. And apparently,
Sure.
according to the wife, there's some really good grass paint that
Oh.
you can use, different colors, different shades, depending on the kind of grass, and you can use different colors so that it looks real. And you can get artistic with it, I guess.
Who knew?
And yeah, no,
You're
Google
not
it.
wrong.
No,
wow.
yes. And so you can use it and then just paint it. And then just leave it. Don't put an artichoke. I mean, I like the artichoke idea just because you get food out of it.
I guess it's a thing. Wow.
Who knew? I mean, I knew but it's an idea.
Yeah.
it's
Anyway, we didn't plan to
all
talk
that.
about this, but you were talking about gardening, so I had to share the big drama over
There
here.
you go. There you go. So
Uh-huh.
yes, garden and garden alike. So all of those things are fine. Okay. So we have a big show coming up. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about politics. We're still digesting the aftermath of that debate. Poor Springfield. They're still dealing with the aftermath of all of that sort of thing. There is, as you could tell from the thumbnail from the show, it's Groundhog's Day in Congress. Again, this is the least productive Congress that we've had simply because nothing can get done. Nothing can get done. We're on the precipice of another government shutdown because Mike Johnson is realizing that he can't do anything. Like he's just like Kevin McCarthy and everyone that comes before him. The Republicans do not want to give an inch. Now, according to many news sources, the thing that's holding up the passage of, I guess, this spending plan is that they don't want to agree to it unless it includes the SAVE Act.
Mhm.
And this is a bill backed by GOP leadership and, of course, Trump, who is controlling this party, even though he's not president. It would require individuals to provide proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. Democrats, of course, say it's a non-starter. They say it's already illegal for non-citizens to cast a ballot in federal elections. And some Republicans oppose the measure because they say it would also contribute to the deficit. Defense hawks say they won't vote for it because also the 6-month extension would affect the Department of Defense readiness, veterans pay, all sorts of things. So they just want a clean bill. They just want to fund the government. That's what a lot of Democrats and Republicans are saying. Just make a clean bill. Just pay your bills and nothing else. Let's just fund what we've already said we are going to fund, and let's stop attaching all of this other nonsense to it. But of course, we always have to have this politicking going on and then possibly shutting down the government. It's ridiculous.
Hate for immigrants. That's what they're focusing on. A hate for immigrants.
This isn't new. This is the GOP really a lot, and some of you are going to hate that I say this, especially my conservative friends, but this is the Donald Trump era. Yeah. It is very much this blaming the immigrants, even legal immigrants, the eating the dogs, eating the cats, all that sort of thing. These Haitians, they're legal. Many of them, they've lived here many years.
They're here legally.
They don't care if you're legal. It's just an othering, right? That's very much a Trump era rhetoric. Okay. And they just do this and they don't care who they're hurting.
Mm-mm.
It sucks.
That shouldn't be what America's about. Mm-mm. I can understand if you want people to be here legally, right? If you're worried about the strain on America.
Right.
What I don't understand is not putting yourself in the position of people or thinking about their plight and what they've gone through to come here and what they must have done to get away from home.
Yeah.
When you think about you and I picking up everything and leaving for a different country, how bad would it have to get?
Exactly.
For us to check out? Mm-hmm. And I mean, for me, it would have to be pretty awful. Mm-hmm. So think about what they're going through and at least try to have some empathy. But there's no empathy. None.
Exactly.
So now you take the fact that these people are here legally and you're still angry at them?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Come on.
It sucks. I saw this thing that's like, what is it? Are the immigrants lazy or are they taking all of our jobs? Like, which one is it? Like, are they working really, really hard or are they not working at all? Are they just mooching off of all of us and taking all of it? Or are they working their butts off for us? Which narrative are you trying to spin it? Because it just, I don't know. I just wish we didn't have to talk like this about other human beings. I just wish.
I wish so too. But here's what we have to hear
instead. Brought
instead.
Approximately a dozen separate concerns to me. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable, and a couple of them I talk about because my constituents are telling me firsthand that they're seeing these things.
Mayor Rue, they're your constituents as well, and you live in the community. Do you have any confirmed reports of Haitian migrants eating dogs and cats in Springfield?
We do not. And I think you highlighted earlier on one of your interviews that, the Sheriff's Department did go back through the last 11 months, and we just have no verifiable claim that this has actually happened. We've had a complaint, it was looked into, and then we couldn't they couldn't call back or reach the person that made the complaint. It would be helpful. We are boots on the ground. We are here with our constituents. The governor of the state of Ohio, Mike DeWine, recognizes and trusts the local officials to share the proper information and believes us. It would be helpful for those that are spinning Springfield into this swirl to understand that you can trust us. We are telling the truth to our community. We are not ignoring the strain that the immigration has put in our community, but we are here to try to put our arms around it and to work as peaceably as possible to have our community secure and safe and thriving and moving forward, just like we have been over the last decade. 8,000 new jobs have come to our community over the last 10 years. We are a community that comes together and works together. And these are the things that we want to talk about, Springfield to the nation, not the things that we have to keep telling the press like, hey, your pets are safe in Springfield, Ohio. They absolutely are. It's crazy I have to keep saying that.
Isn't that wild? So that's the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, who now has to come out and say, listen, we'll tell you if we got a problem. We don't have a problem. No. He is issuing an emergency order because of bomb threats in town.
Yes, it's crazy.
I mean, this mayor of this tiny little town or this small community is having to go all kinds of, crazy every day to protect the community simply because of the comments from the Republican Party. They are not helping the immigration issue. They are not helping Springfield, Ohio. They're actually causing the problem.
Exactly. The funny thing is, and it's not funny, but it's literally separating this town. And sorry, I have to like use my glasses to read these comments. But I'm just like Jess is saying, big business loves immigrants because they bring down the price of labor. And you're absolutely right, Jess. Go after these employers. Go after these American citizens, right? Go after the Donald Trumps of the world who actually hire these people because it helps their bottom lines. If you're going to be mad at anybody, it's the people who actually benefit from cheap out of either in country labor, right? They use these immigrants, they bring them in the country. Or even, Donald Trump, who's like USA, and then you look at the back of his tie, and where is all of his ties? Made in China, made in wherever,
China.
Bangladesh or wherever, right? Like they're full of crap. They're just full of crap. They don't make it in America because it's expensive to use American labor. And I've heard that too, Kevin. So apparently JD Vance and Donald Trump want to go to Springfield. Has it been confirmed that they're going? Because I think that's a terrible idea. I think if anything, Springfield just wants to be out of the news.
Well, that's what the mayor said. The mayor said it'd be fine if you didn't come here. It would be too much of a security burden for us.
Yeah,
Don't.
exactly. Yeah. And then also what we haven't talked about is this quote unquote second assassination attempt of Donald Trump. So this golf course guy, right? He has a gun. Apparently he waited 12 hours on this golf course to shoot a gun in the vicinity of Donald Trump. Thoughts, Kim McAllister?
Well, I just, wasn't successful. The Secret Service did what they had to do. Mm-hmm. I guess my only thought is how awful that our country has dropped down to this level where instead of, and you see it online, you see it on Facebook, you see it in these conversations where people get nasty with each other. Yeah. So instead of having discourse and sharing our various opinions and teaching each other and learning from each other, we're getting angry and we're getting mean with each other. Yeah. And that's from both sides. Okay. And so now you have this attack, the second such attack on Trump. I understand the hate for Trump, but when he talks about where to put the blame, and he's the one that's trying to blame Democrats for their words causing anger against him. But all of the things that he is saying that Democrats have leveled against him are things that have come out of his own mouth. So he's angry that Democrats have called him a fascist. But if you've seen the clips of him, he's called Democrats fascists, Kamala Harris, this word multiple times. So it's hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. And I think he needs to blame himself as much as anyone else.
I want to play a little video. It's from CNN with Dana Bash. And she also plays a clip of JD Vance kind of saying, again, what you're saying about where does the blame actually lie? And in the comments, I want you guys to just, what do you think? Do you think that the Democrats should take just as much responsibility for the rhetoric as conservatives do?
Said something a bit different, but similar yesterday in Atlanta. Let's listen.
I'm not going to say we're always perfect. I'm not going to say that conservatives always get things exactly right. But the big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and two people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out.
Leanne?
So, well, first, we don't know that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months. This is the Secret Service's job to keep people safe. There are threats on a daily basis. President, the vice president, elected officials, members of Congress. But JD Vance is also the person who started the false rumors more than a week ago about Springfield, Ohio, about false claims about the Haitian immigrants there. And that has led to bomb threats, school evacuations, city hall evacuations, and a feeling of terror in that community as far as reporting is concerned. So, there's a complete double standard here. I don't see that this political rhetoric, is going to die down. Seems like the Trump campaign, based on what has happened in the past couple of days, is only going to continue to escalate this argument and those comments.
So, I don't think JD Vance's his comment there though is, Donald Trump's the only one that has had an assassination attempt against him. I'm not quite sure that proves the point that it's Democrats doing it, especially given the fact that, the first assassination attempt was by someone that apparently had Republican ties. And it doesn't actually matter. I think that it's just political rhetoric in and of itself in these heated times that I do think Donald Trump, you can draw a line. And I don't think that's unfair to say. I think that the norms, at the very least, the political politeness, for lack of a better term, that used to exist before Donald Trump, he blew that up. There are norms that Donald Trump threw out the window. There are things Donald Trump has said, have tweeted, that no politician would have ever dared say, written down, ever.
It would have been a disqualifier. It would have been a disqualifier.
Yeah, it would have been the whole grab him by the pee.
That should have been a disqualifier.
That would have been a disqualifier. The fact that he got away with that opened the door. I mean, even before that, though, just who he was an automatic, in my opinion, disqualifier. But that should have shut the door on him even possibly being qualified to be president. But then he became president, and then he doubled and tripled down on the things that he said as president, that people just turned one blind eye and two blind eye. I mean, it was the lack of decorum and class. He just destroyed. And so that is the problem, is that he took the elegance, the class, the status of being a United States president and threw it away. So that is why there is no bar for Donald Trump anymore. So Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, everything, they have to be up here, and they can't make any sort of mistake, visually, language, speech, anything. Donald Trump can say whatever he wants and gets away with it, because there is no bar. There is no class. There is nothing he can say, because we don't have any standards for him. He has no class. Exactly.
They went way beyond class. First, maybe it started with having no class, and it's gone way beyond that. Now we're into full out lies and attacks.
Yeah.
So we're way past having no class and having no decorum.
Oh yeah.
We've sunk lower and lower and lower and lower as to what we'll tolerate from a presidential candidate.
Only though, but only him. Him. It's and I hope it's only him. I don't know.
JD Vance seems pretty offensive.
I don't think that. Again, I think that if Donald Trump if he wasn't attached to Donald Trump,
he wouldn't.
I think that he would we would put him at the stake. You know what I mean? I think that, the songs, the couch, the memes, he would, and I don't know if he'd be able to put up with it if Donald Trump wasn't standing next to him. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that this is, and maybe I'm wrong.
I know.
Maybe I am wrong. Maybe
you're right.
Maybe Donald Trump is molding us. I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
I hope that
when
we
you
are
become desensitized to violence, you get desensitized to wild politics.
But not. I just hope we bring back class. And I apologize, I don't have the video. Maybe I was able to share it, but there was this video that was made of debates before Donald Trump, and it was before Donald Trump, where, and again, it was where politicians admitted that they were wrong, Republicans and Democrats, and Republicans Democrats didn't necessarily like we're talking about George W. Bush and all those that were vilified by Democrats, right? But we're able to laugh with each other, Romney and Obama, all of these people that were able to just debate, shake hands, when people passed, we're able to sit next to each other. We were human beings. Yes, politics sucked, but Donald Trump ruined it. He ruined it. And it sucks. And I'm not exaggerating here, people. It's not Trump derangement syndrome. It is the fact that he's not a good human being. He's not. And I hope that with him hopefully not becoming president again, we can bring back decorum, we can bring back class, and we can bring back debate about policy and everything else we've been talking about. And I think that's why so many Republicans are voting for Kamala Harris, is because they're so sick and tired of the nonsense. They're like, let's just get him out. Let's just stop it already. No, I don't agree with Kamala Harris, but geez Louise, can we just stop?
Earlier today, I was talking to David K. Johnston, and I asked him if, once again, America kicks Trump to the curb and says, we voted you out last time, we still don't want you. And then he becomes too old really to run for president again, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. If this happens, is that the end of it? Once he's out of politics, he's not going to run again. Are we done with the ugliness? Are we back to being what we were before? And he said he liked my sense of optimism, but there have been economic problems in America much longer, and he said they're getting better under President Biden, but there have been economic problems for a while, and that these type of economic problems kind of spur on this ability to kind of get people to others to make people angry. And so as the economy gets better, that's definitely a possibility that we could be done with it. I thought that was an interesting answer, especially not to compare, but from what we learned about why people were so eager or willing to accept things in the 40s in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Economic problems, what was happening politically, economically at the time that put people in that mindset to want to accept something like that.
Yeah.
No.
It's money. I like that you bring up the economy though. Because numbers can always be twisted, right? Like the Fed just approved a huge interest rate cut, and it's going to be important to people because then they can afford houses again, and obviously credit card debt and all those sorts of things. It's going to be very important to people, but it's being politicized, right? Oh, right before an election, it's so convenient that the Fed does these things, but everything is politicized, right? And so. And you can look at certain numbers and why things are done, and people will twist it this way and that way. But all I'm saying is that, yes, there can be othering, right? And there's always going to be that. But I do think that when you can take kind of this albatross off the neck of politics, when you can just try to get someone that sucks all the oxygen out of the room. Just this one thing. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything. Yeah. I'm not saying that. There's going to still be Marjorie Taylor Greens and all these type of people still in the room. But this one person, I think, can at least hopefully help, right? And I will say this. I think if Kamala Harris actually keeps that promise and puts some moderate Republicans in her cabinet, and shows and actually listens to them and compromises, shows what politics can be. I mean, I think that would be just so groundbreaking in politics. You want to talk about something that can actually shift politics in the United States, kind of bring some sensibility back, because Democrats are not always right. Republicans are not always right. We need to show people that what compromise looks like again. I think that could be her legacy beyond just being the first female president. Louise, thank you so much for the super donation.
Yay.
Trump is a world-class clown. You are so right. His own people are trying to kill him. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily, but love you live. Thank you so much, Louise, for the $5 super chat donation. If you want to donate, thank you so much. Oh, and a $2 donation. JD stands for just. I mean, we can make up a million different things for just. He is so stupid, though. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy is no, and I'm not, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is high, but he is no Donald Trump. I mean, come on,
He's
let's
weird.
just stop.
And I don't
is
say
weird.
weird to be like, oh, let's throw the
Let's do the
Democrats
weird
weird
thing.
out there.
Everything is weird, though. I mean, it is
think,
weird.
I think he's really weird. A guy that changes his name 3 times, and we're not
Mhm.
talking about like trying to, figure out if you're trans or this or that.
No,
We're not talking about someone who's going through that. We're talking about
Yeah.
some other weird identity crisis.
Yes.
Very strange. Also, we got this text from a chat from JT. He says
Yeah.
it's utterly embarrassing. No morals, ethics, scruples to what you're
Right.
talking about. Speaks utter nonsense. The president should be a politician we can trust, for Pete's sake.
Yep.
We can't have that. We should insist upon it.
We
says
should.
JT.
We should.
Mm.
Exactly. You know
Yeah.
what also is weird? I mean, even so Hillary Clinton was saying that Elon Musk's rotten and creepy tweet about Taylor Swift, remember we talked about that last week,
Mhm.
is another way of saying the R word, a sexual assault. Because he was saying, all right, I'll give you a child, I'll take care of your cats type of thing. Elon Musk is another one that is using his platform and his power,
Weird.
I think, in a very weird and dangerous way.
Mhm.
Donald Trump used his social media platform to basically say he hates Taylor Swift, which I think is also dangerous because we know that there's a wackadoos out there that are going to use that as a call to action, possibly. She's already had a terror threat at her concerts, obviously outside the country, but still, we don't want anything to happen there. And also, going back to what I was saying about a United States president, if Joe Biden had texted or tweeted out, I hate fill in the blank, disqualifying, everyone would have thought he lost his ever-loving mind.
It's just not presidential.
It's not presidential, but
No.
Donald Trump can do it, and people are like, yeah, I'll vote for that guy. Are you freaking kidding me? I hate Taylor Swift, and you're gonna, that guy should be president. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? He's a child.
So I read this article in Politico. All right. I want to read this to you because this, I think, is what the Taylor Swift thing is about. It's about with a Haitian immigrant, wildness, the lies. They're doing it on purpose. And here's why. This article out of Politico on, I think, Monday or Tuesday. During a campaign stakeholders call with surrogates and advisors on Monday, Trump campaign senior advisors Sue Wiles, Chris LaCivita, and Tony Fabrizio briefly addressed the apparent attempted assassination Sunday before moving on to poll numbers, messaging, and Trump's upcoming schedule, according to a person who took part and then spoke with Politico. He said this, or they said this. They spoke about it for a minute, in a manner of complete recognition that this is the reality we are in. This is the new reality of American politics. A Trump advisor, granted anonymity to speak freely, lamented that the threats to Trump's life mean the campaign is going to be talking about whether or not he's going to be shot next week. We're not going to be talking about the issues. And so this is what they have done. They are flipping it to blame Democratic rhetoric so they can keep talking about blame, issues, immigration, things they want to talk about. And that's why they're blaming, so they can keep talking about immigration, to take the spotlight off the Trump alleged apparent assassination attempt and instead put the spotlight back on immigration. It's the same thing they're doing with Taylor Swift about kids and childcare. It's all to get us to focus on what they want us to focus on. And it's pretty smart as a campaign tactic.
I mean, I don't know. I still think that Kamala Harris I think she's still running away with with the race. You know what I mean?
Because they're so stupid, they don't think we can see through it. That we're not smart enough to go,
but I still don't think anybody cares about the assassinations as much as they should be. I mean, does anybody really? I mean, I feel like it's old news. Like, I'm sorry, for somebody that's had 2 assassination attempts and is a former president, it is not making as much news as you would think it would be making. I'm sorry. It is not. I think at this point, most people think that Donald Trump is doing it to himself, right?
I've heard it.
Anybody?
Not
Anybody else?
substantiated, have no source, not a fact. I'm newsy, but I've heard that. I've heard people say it.
I love this video. This is one of my favorite videos of the weekend. Did you see this video?
Latin music superstar Nikki Kim. Do you know Nikki? She's hot. Where's Nikki? Where's Nikki?
Where's Nikki? Let's see Nikki.
Great to be having you here.
Oh yeah, come on up, Nikki.
Now you have to get.
Mm.
Oh look.
Oh look, there's Nikki. She is so hot.
Nikki's a dude.
Latin music superstar.
I mean,
Nikki apparently pulled his support for Donald Trump later on that evening.
he pulled it off his Instagram. I mean, you couldn't Google. I mean, did nobody whisper in his friggin' ear? Like,
Do you not have a staff? I mean, what's happening?
did they set him up for that? I mean, was he thinking like Nicki Minaj? I don't know if like it was just a last minute thing, but you would have thought somebody would have said, like, come on, dude. And
It's the
so apparently
craziest
Nicky
thing.
Jam is a Puerto Rican, like he's huge. And apparently I mean, he was apparently going to do this collaboration with this other group that pulled the collaboration because they don't collaborate with people that support racists, is what they said. But yeah, the guy pulled it because it's so disingenuous that Trump doesn't know who you are, man. He didn't even want to Google you, but apparently you're so hot. So there
Did
you
you
go.
see the video? And I don't have it handy, but even worse, because I can forgive you misgendering someone, maybe not realizing, okay, it's
But
a
you
dumb mistake, but
Google
okay.
it. I mean, come on.
There was a rally yesterday or the day before where he's sitting down with Sarah Huckabee Sanders,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to be talking to Michigan auto workers and people that have lost manufacturing jobs and whatever that are upset about the economy.
Okay.
And so a Michigan auto worker has been selected and is in these special seats to ask a question. And he stands up and says, what are you going to do to make it better for Michigan auto workers? Like,
Okay.
what is the problem here and what can you do about it, basically?
Right.
And Trump says, well, the problem with Michigan auto workers is nuclear weapons. And he goes off on this thing about energy and power and how you need energy and power to make everything, and nuclear
Okay.
this and windmills that. And it was a
Interesting.
nonsensical answer that had nothing to do with the question that was asked. And
Okay.
then somebody else asked a question. And again, they got a nonsensical answer that didn't address anything they had. It's almost like he's not hearing what was asked. Either
He doesn't answer the question. He doesn't know how to answer the question.
there were non-answers. I
There
mean,
was no answers.
I think there were head scratchers.
Shocking.
Crazy.
Shocking. I mean, the truth of the matter is, there was this other video that I wanted to show you, and I'm sorry I don't have it up. Donald Trump was on with, is it Greg Gutfeld? I think that's his name, Greg Gutfeld. He's a Fox guy or I don't know. He had some
Oh,
sort of show.
okay.
He dropped in on his show, and he was talking about how Kamala Harris doesn't do interviews, hates doing interviews. But he literally said it out loud about the whole gendering thing. He's like, he was literally shocked that Kamala, this is what he says, he says, I'm shocked Kamala, a woman, was doing so well. But he says, it can't really last, though. It can't possibly last. There's only
Really?
how many days? 50 something days left until the
Wow.
election. I mean, this is the guy. And I know that a lot can happen. October is a couple weeks away. We always say the October surprise, right? Who knows what can happen? But there are a lot of consequences. Did you hear about, what was it? Was it in Ohio, Portridge County, Ohio? The sheriff there,
Oh
Bruce
my God.
Zukowski, a Republican, told people to write down the addresses of all the people who had Kamala Harris signs in their yards. He says, I say, write down all the addresses of the people who had her signs in their yards. That way, he said, when undocumented immigrants, which he referred to as locusts, flooded in, will already have the addresses of their new families who supported their arrivals. Okay, so he writes this on his Facebook page, and he says it's supported by the First Amendment. Then he comes out and he says that it was a little bit misunderstood, right? He comes out, he says the Ohio sheriff says his Facebook post about Harris was misunderstood, that it was a little bit misinterpreted, that he said, this is what he writes. Hold on, I gotta get the Facebook post up. I don't know if they're gonna, he says, I as elected sheriff do have the First Amendment right, as do all citizens. And he says, with elections, there are consequences. That being said, I believe that those who vote for individuals with liberal policies have to accept responsibility for their actions. I'm a lawman, not a politician. I'd also like to thank the overwhelming support I'm receiving from people who are afraid or not allowed to agree with me publicly. And he's like, basically saying, I don't care. I want to do it. And he's like, we already have the addresses of their new families. And he thinks that people should vote for Donald J. Trump. I don't think that a sheriff should be calling people in their town locusts. I don't think,
Or intimidating voters.
or intimidating voters. When do we talk about people like that? Why do we talk about people like that?
The sheriff of this community, his job is to protect the white people, the brown people, the black people, the purple people, pick a color. His job is to protect immigrants. His job is to protect the people of his community. He's just put a target on not only immigrants, right?
Yes,
but
exactly.
also
All
on
those
anyone
people.
on anyone who would support a Democrat or Kamala
Yeah.
Harris or would have
There's
empathy for
consequences
immigrants
to
or
it,
what have
yeah.
you. So I would say that's dereliction of duty.
And there's so many consequences. I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing this, like even in schools. Like, well, I know that in Springfield, remember, there's been all these hoaxes, like shooting hoaxes and threat to school. There was elementary schools in Springfield, Ohio, that had to be evacuated. There were a couple of elementary schools. I'm not saying that, like, I don't know if it's been happening in Petaluma, but we've been having here,
Yeah.
like, there's just been like notifications across schools in Northern California, across the country. And I know it's kids being kids sometimes and hearing the news, and people want to do this. But the last thing we need in a country that has a school shooting epidemic is hoaxes, right?
No.
Because once it starts happening, not that it's going to be a cry wolf, because most of the time, we have a problem with it anyway. But I'm just saying, we don't need to add to this problem. You know what? We don't need to do it. A Florida sheriff, though, did you see this? Releases the mugshot and perp walk video of an 11-year-old that was charged with making a school shooting threat.
This is horrible.
The release came just days after the sheriff said he would start releasing the mugshots of students who are arrested for making school shooting threats. 2 teenagers and an 11-year-old child were taken into custody within the last few days. An 11-year-old child. What would you do if that was your kid?
Oh my God. Well, hopefully I would have seen the signs. And if I didn't,
What if your kid
made the hoax?
made the hoax? What would you do? What if your kid was just fooling around with his friends, didn't want to take, there was a big test coming up. They were like, you know what we should do? We should just call the school and just pretend that we're going to shoot at the school. Or, we're just going to make a TikTok. Let's just make a TikTok and we're not even going to show our faces. We're just going to be like, we're going to post a meme. Or we're going to be like, there's going to be a shooting at Petaluma High School. You know what I mean? Like, what would you do if your kid was an asshat and took part in something like that?
Well, having been on the other side of that with recent threats to Petaluma High School,
Right.
and having to worry about whether to send my daughter to school or not,
Right.
and then when sending her, having to worry about her safety there,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've hit on my parenting weak spot.
Yeah. Well, I think
Because
every parent has a weak spot with that, right?
The right thing to do is to calm down,
Right.
rationally get a counselor lined up, talk, scoop them up, give them love, and then figure out what the problem is and try to figure out, is it an education problem? Do you not understand what this does to people?
Right.
Is it an attention problem?
Ugh, give me
What
a
caused
heart
you to
attack.
act out in this way?
Exactly.
Like all of these things. Now that's probably what I should do. What would I do? I would come out of my flesh. I would
God, yes.
lose my mind. There would
My
be yelling.
mind.
There would be punishments. There would be everything stripped out of your room. There would, and this is not
I would
conducive
lose
to
my
fixing the problem.
ever-living ass.
But you know what I mean?
Oh
like
my
I would be, yeah.
God. I
So
would
when you
lose
ask the
my
question,
mind.
like realistically,
I would lose the whole neighborhood would hear me. That's
yes.
yeah. The reality would be everyone in the
Mhm.
neighborhood would know exactly what I was doing. The everyone would know what I was doing and saying. Yeah.
But as always,
Um,
is that really helpful to solve the problem? Because at 11 years old,
oh my God, I would
their
lose my
brains aren't
mind.
cooked. They do dumb stuff.
They're,
They have no
they're not
impulse
cooked until they're
control.
24.
They have
So
no impulse control. They're not ready for prime time. They make stupid mistakes. Now,
yeah,
I'm not trying to excuse kids, but when you
yeah,
talk about what works to ready them for the real world, what works to make sure they're mentally okay and able
yeah,
to be educated and go back to school, well,
yeah.
I would say maybe it would be time for homeschool, not homeschool with me teaching it, homeschool via a computer, right? A
Kim's
computer
like, I don't
teacher.
want your ass.
I'm not teaching you.
Lady Beatrice says I think the problem is that so many of these have happened that it doesn't matter if it was a joke. It's protocol to take it seriously. Absolutely. And now that I work at a school,
Yeah.
yes. And then teacher Lori says the perp walk kids and parents, it's been going on long enough that it's time to stop effing around since they won't pass appropriate gun laws. Do you see how many guns that kid has? Yeah. Donald says the parents should be sitting their kids down and explaining the ramifications of doing things like that.
Yeah.
And mama, 3 boys. I'd let my kids spend some time in jail, honestly.
Right? I mean, this is the tough love moment.
Mama, 3 boys ain't messing around. She's like, I'm leaving
No.
your ass in jail.
No,
Oh,
don't
I
mess
don't
with
know if I'd
mama.
be able to do that.
Mama Day 3
Oh.
boys is all over that.
She's like, you can keep your ass in
Come
jail.
On. But
I don't
kids are doing
know.
this.
I
Kids are doing this
know.
because it's somehow there's always
It's
a threat. They-
funny. You know what I
it's
mean?
funny. It's
like,
not a big deal.
and honestly, the clout that they get online, right? Like they see these TikTokers do it or whatever, and they're like, oh, it's funny. And they don't see it as it is so dangerous because it actually happens. Like
Yeah.
there are people that lose their life in something
Mhm.
like this. But on the flip side, Kim, the tragedy is that they also know that it happens. And so
Yeah.
screw it, right? They're like, yeah, it does happen because you guys haven't done anything about it. So I can make a joke about it because it's a joke that you guys haven't done anything about it.
Right.
And it's kind of the double-edged sword of it all. Like it is a joke. It is a joke that the adults in the room haven't done anything about it.
Mm-mm.
And it sucks. So
There's all these Republican texts. Someone posted it on my wall earlier on the Facebook page
right.
that said one of the lies that Kamala Harris is told is that she's not going to take away our guns. Okay. Well, President Obama didn't take away your guns and you
Nope.
accused him of the same thing.
Right.
President Biden didn't take away your guns and you accused him of the same thing.
Mhm.
And now you're accusing
Gun
possible-
owning Kamala Harris, by the
right?
way.
Gun owning
Right?
Kamala Harris of the same thing. And there's this clip of her that's being circulated where she says she's going to come into your house and take your weapon, or she's going to make mandatory gun buybacks or what have you, which is all taken out of context and all being twisted to make her seem like she's saying or thinking something
Of course.
that she's currently not saying
Right.
and not thinking. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and again, she owns guns. She's not taking your guns. Does she think that, everybody should have an AK-47 or whatever? No, I don't either. Do I think that it should be more difficult for people to own guns? Do I think that gun owners should have insurance? Do I think that a parent should face consequences if their gun is used in a school shooting by their child? Absolutely. Do I love the fact that parents are starting to face the criminal consequences if their child uses a gun? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because then maybe you have more
Absolutely.
responsible parents who are paying closer
Yes.
attention, right?
Yes. I mean,
That's the
friggin'
hope.
A. What the hell? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that there is something happening. I just wish that we didn't have such a love affair with guns and we can actually do something about it. It blows my mind. And I know people say it. It's like the shoe bomber on the airplane. And now we have to take our
Mhm.
shoes off. But a bunch of babies at school get murdered. and we still have all these friggin' guns out there, and it didn't do anything. It just didn't do anything.
I found the gut field video if you want to show it.
Okay, go ahead.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen this show before, so I had to look this up.
Yeah, this is it. Here we go. It's towards the end though. Let's see. Oh, maybe let me hear it. Let me see it. I'll let you know.
I don't know why I can't make it.
Where's the volume, Kim
Just
McAllister?
basically accept
Here we
that
go.
this is a
I think
package.
so. Yeah. Look, the media is extremely dishonest, extremely
Oh, this is
corrupt.
I
Actually,
don't know
look
if
at
this
the
is the
debate.
video. Let's see.
I walked off. I said, "That's debate." You know, they said I'm the GOAT
Mhm.
in debates because I had a lot of debates and I became president.
He's such an ass.
And the GOAT means greatest of all time.
We
He's
all
the
know
GOAT.
that, Donald. Thank you.
What a great
Thanks,
step.
Grandpa.
And I
Stupid.
walked off that stage and I thought I had the best debate. And I was very unfairly treated by the anchor.
Mhm.
I'm not fans of those guys anymore. And his hair was better 5 years ago than it is now.
Your hair sucks ass, by
That's-
the way. Thank you.
That happens. That happens with the
So-
clock.
He's so vain.
That happens with the clock. But you know, they came at me on everything like crime.
Yeah.
I said the crime is rampant. He said crime is down. I said crime is down. Who would think it's without even knowing?
You know,
And I
because
was
real
right.
data.
Mm.
The
Yeah,
following day,
'cause we could look at
DOJ
data.
announced numbers. I don't know who it was in DOJ, but somebody over there likes me.
Mhm.
That crime is up 45%, murders up,
No.
numbers like
No.
you wouldn't even believe.
This is
And
him
anybody would
inventing
know that
numbers.
without
now.
Yeah,
even
he just
seeing
invents
judgment.
Yeah.
It turned out to be
45% or something like that.
He just makes up stuff.
false
He-
attack. They attacked the word, the bloodbath. That was referring to the auto industry. You
Right.
know all these things.
Yeah.
Charlottesville was totally debunked by everybody, including Laura. Laura did a whole show on it, how
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous.
And even Snopes, which is a left.
That's right. They even said.
Yeah.
You mean
But all of
Snoops?
them, and they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically. And I think 9 times or 11 times. And the audience was absolutely.
What audience?
They went crazy.
What
And on
audience?
The real.
There
I
was no
thought it
audience.
I walked off. I said, "That was a great debate. I loved it."
Lies.
You know, you got a lot of people watch. I guess we had 75 million people watching, something like that. And you have to do well. You can't do badly. For instance, Biden didn't do so well in the previous debate because I had the 2 debates. I had one. We actually had 2 debates. You know, I had one against a man, and then they said he's not doing well. Take
Here
him
we
out. Put in a. And if she doesn't do well, I wonder if they're going to take her out. Just keep putting her. Let's see if we can get it right eventually. No, but a thing like that's never happened before.
Okay, here we go. He's going to say it.
It's never. You know, it's like a fighter. He knows more about fighting, but I love the fighting. We love Dana White, all those guys. Dana is great.
Well, your
right?
history in boxing is second to none.
I'm more Mike Tyson fights than anybody.
Yeah.
Mike is great, and they're all great, and they're amazing people. Really, they're. It's a very hard thing to be a fighter. Number one, you have to be able to take hundreds of shots to the face within a couple of rounds and enjoy
least
going
duck one,
out for
yeah.
the 5th round.
Yes.
You know, there aren't a lot of guys. A lot of great athletes have tried to be fighters. It doesn't work out so well. Very rarely does it work out. But this was something that was a very special moment. I thought this was a tremendous debate. And when you look at it, it's interesting. Now that
He's
they're
so
reviewing
deluded.
it,
He's so crazy.
it was all word salad from her. The first question, I said,
There's
what
no
kind of
word
questions?"
salad.
But the fake news
From the
said,
king of
she
word
did well.
salad.
No matter what you do, if I were Winston Churchill, he was a great debater, by the way. If I were and an elegant debater,
Thanks.
if I were Winston Churchill, they would say, "Well, he was okay, but he wasn't special tonight." That was the kind of stuff.
You were
And they
exactly
were
the
saying-
same as the previous debate. That's what, if you
Yeah,
look at it, there
I
was.
think so.
Yeah, there was no difference.
I actually wanted that attitude. I've
Yeah.
had different attitudes, right?
Yeah.
And you never know about debate. It's a little like Mike Tyson said. He said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And there's
Mhm.
a lot of truth to that, right?
No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you walked in, you caught 3 before you even said hello to you.
Well, I mean, I had people telling
Oh,
me.
I
that
don't
I'm
know.
right
All right,
about
well,
things.
he's
Well,
done.
I
I-
was right
yeah.
about
Yeah.
just about all of
Yeah.
that stuff
Oh.
that they were correcting me. And
Oh,
I think
yeah.
my only regret is that I wanted to be elegant and I didn't want to go after the anchors.
Mhm.
I wish I did, in a way.
So
Yeah.
that's
stop.
our job.
He had 10 more minutes
took care of
than
it.
she
We
did
All
to
right,
talk.
we
He
gotta
could have.
take a quick.
Get rid
Yeah,
of it.
he had 10 more minutes speaking time than
Mhm.
she did. He could have done all of the things that he wanted to do, but he didn't. And like all the people are saying, why didn't the anchors correct Kamala Harris on some of the things that she was wrong about? And why did they correct Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump lies more. Like we know the lies that Donald Trump is going to say before. Like, why did Kamala Harris seem to be so well spoken and Donald Trump wasn't? sorry that she's more well-spoken than Donald Trump. Sorry she's an educated woman. Sorry that she prepared for the debate. Sorry that she can speak better than him. I mean, I don't know. The answer's in the friggin' question. But anyways, I don't know.
I would argue that President Biden likely would have won the first debate if we could have heard what he was saying in an intelligible way. Donald Trump was the same Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Talking nonsense, talking lies,
he's
you
an
know.
idiot.
He was the same idiot that he always is. It's just that his opponent in the first debate, we couldn't understand him. And he looked so frail and fragile that when you compared the two, Trump looked stronger, only because you had somebody that seemed older.
Yeah.
Well, now put someone in saying, you know, many of the same things that President Biden was saying, but in a more, you know, a way where we could understand it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you have big loser. That's what you have.
I mean, and again, like I said last time when we were talking about the debate, Kamala Harris said all of the things we wanted Joe Biden to be able to say in a way that Joe Biden was no longer able to say it. Like, and whether he was tired or it's his age or fill in the blank, he didn't during that debate. It was a terrible debate. It was, you know, for lack of a better term, it was the nail in the coffin for his second term. It was. And I think the right decision was made. And I love Joe Biden. I've gotten emotional over him stepping down. I think it was the greatest thing that anybody has ever done as president of the United States. And I'm loving Joe Biden now because he has nothing to freaking lose. So he's doing whatever the F he wants. So, and there's nothing better than a president that can do and say whatever the hell he wants. So I think I'm going to actually love the Joe Biden as it gets closer to him leaving office. So it'll be nice to hear. Okay, let's move on. We've done enough Trump bashing. I want to talk a little bit about things a little bit closer to home because Loretta Lynch, I wanted to talk a little bit. I was very heated last week about PG&E. Everybody knows, if you live in California, especially Northern California, our PG&E bills are going up. I think somebody was mentioning it earlier. Loretta Lynch contracted COVID, unfortunately. She has officially tested negative. She told me yesterday, but she's still her voice is still raspy.
Bad.
She's still feeling bad. And I'm like, get better. Get back to me. The door is always open. So maybe she'll come on next week. Whenever she's feeling better, she'll come on. We're still going to be reeling from this. You know what I know? I'm just going to say this. PG&E, you know what they're going to do? They're going to lower our rates like in the next bill or something to make us think that they're doing something for us. And they're just going to, they're just screwing us up the butt, but whatever. So anyways, Loretta Lynch wants to come on. But did you guys hear about that Solano County man? I love it. Like we were talking about it. That was like paying somebody else's bill for like 18 freaking years. I'm just using this as a message to all of you, especially if you live in an apartment complex. Check your meter number. I'm assuming because I live in a house that I'm paying my right meter. But this dude, hold on. I'm going to play you this. It's only like a minute and a half, but I'm going to play you this lesson that all of you, especially all my listeners that live in apartments, okay? Make sure, because I used to live in apartments, okay? Make sure that apparently you're paying your meter because this dude was paying somebody else's meter for like 18 freaking years. So here we go.
Watchful eye on how much.
Hold on, let me start it over.
And keeps a watchful eye on how much energy he uses.
Every day that I go to work, I turn these breakers off.
No, that's
especially in recent months. Bill, he's tried hard to keep his usage low.
I plug it into the wall.
Even buying this device to tell him how many watts his appliances give off.
$14.95.
So he can track his energy daily down to the exact number.
Even after I turned off my breakers, I kept going outside to check my meter to see if it was still running, and it was still running. And I couldn't believe it.
He started taking a closer look at his bill.
When I was seeing these spikes with my breakers off, then I said, I'm not looking at my meter. This is somebody else's meter.
Wilson called PG&E last week. They sent someone out and the light bulb clicked.
This is the wrong one.
Wilson has been paying for Unit 90, not his Unit 91, possibly for up to 18 years. He thinks since he lives alone, his bill should be lower than any other unit.
I feel powerless right now because I can't control my
you have
own
power, buddy.
meter.
Too much.
PG&E told CBS 13 they made a mistake and want to make it right, adding,
Right.
"We sincerely apologize for the oversight and regret any inconvenience caused by the duration of this issue."
I just hope this story is going to help others. I can't be the only one.
A meter mishap, as this paying customer hopes by his next bill, he won't be left in the dark.
Dude is owed so much money that he will never get. PG&E is
So
never
much.
going to make that right. They are never going to make that right. Like, good luck, dude.
That guy should have free PG&E bills for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's gonna
We're
get like
comping you.
he'll get like
a
like a Baskin Robbins like gift certificate or something. You know what I mean? Like that guy's
it's crazy. Okay, I have a story for you.
Okay.
This is a woman who was about a woman and a dad.
Okay.
This woman was told her dad died.
Okay.
Was given his ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Now she finds out he's not dead. Okay.
Whose ashes was she given?
What? Who knows? Her name is Kylie. She had a funeral service for her dad, James, 3 years ago after the city of San Francisco told her he died in a hotel room. She, for the last 2 or 3 years, has been carrying his ashes around with her from place to place.
Oh.
Sad that he's gone. And now she finds out he didn't die. He is still living on the streets in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. He didn't die at all.
How'd she find so how did she find this out?
So she finds out, she is given the body, has it cremated.
Did she look at the body?
No. It was a single room occupancy hotel that the man died in.
Okay.
She was told she had a limited amount of time to pay for cremation and burial services. So she posted a GoFundMe to help her pay for it and raised the money, had the body cremated. The city sends it. There's a very limited time they do it.
Go, right.
Hosted a funeral a couple of weeks later, spent 3 years grieving and mourning the loss of our dad, she said, taking his ashes with us everywhere. 2 months ago, she runs into her dad's friend on the streets of San Francisco. He says, "Your dad isn't dead. What are you talking about?" So she calls the medical examiner's office to inquire. She learned her dad had never been fingerprinted. The office sent her a photograph of her father's body, and she said the unthinkable was true. It was not her father. The ashes that she'd been toting around were not those of her father. Wow. And it remains to be seen whose ashes they actually were. So then she's looking all over the Tenderloin, trying to find her dad. She finds him after 12 hours. He's in really poor health. Because he had been considered dead, he had lost his monthly disability checks. He became addicted to fentanyl. I don't know how he managed to pay for it. She said, "My dad didn't have as severe an addiction before this mistake, but there's been a very significant decline in his health over the last 3 years." And listen to this. The city of San Francisco could have caught their mistake before this. He was arrested by San Francisco police in November of 2022, but they released him when his records indicated he was dead. So who's the live guy standing in front of you if he's dead? Things that don't make sense. Oh, not our problem. Just release him. He's somebody else. We don't know.
If there was ever a San Francisco story, it's that San Francisco. San Francisco has way too much thank you so much, Cindy, for the $10 super chat donation. Hope when Vice President Harris becomes president, Governor Newsom will not become Secretary of Energy. Thanks for the great Thursday discussions. Thank you, Cindy, so much. I am telling you, San Francisco has so much commissions and this, that, and the other that that doesn't surprise me that they would look at something and be like, "Oh, this guy's supposed to be dead, but he's standing in front of me, so you can go. It's fine. It's somebody else's freaking problem." I am telling you. And they're supposed to be hiring a new mayor. There is a mayoral freaking thing happening. You couldn't pay me $2 billion to be the mayor of San Francisco. Literally, it is way too much. It is way too big of a problem.
What
San
happened
Francisco's
there
It's too big.
is a level of incompetence that
Yeah.
is not tolerable.
No.
I
It's
would
too big of a
say
problem.
it's not a big deal. I mean, first of all, let's talk about inattention to detail when detail really matters, right?
Oh my God.
We're not talking about a typo.
How do you not
We're-
say something?
Right.
How do you-
It's crazy to call the family, to cremate the body, to have the family raise the money, to have the family think their dad died and they're carrying around the ashes, only to run into the friend who says, over there in the Tenderloin.
There's no other family that's involved in this because whose
Yeah.
ashes are these?
They're still working to identify the real decedent in this case. They're working with the family now on everything.
That is so sad.
I know.
There is somebody else. I would be really grossed out. Who have I been carrying around this whole time? That's really weird. And you know me, I'm not a horror movie person. There's some creepy DB stuff going on right here. Tell me, who are you? You know what I mean? I'd go to some sort of medium or something, and that sucks. But then also the dad's life went to hell in a handbasket because you're dead according to all this paperwork.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You're dead. What a story is that?
Yeah. Well, you know whose life is going to hell in a handbasket also? Sean Diddy Combs.
Oh, yeah.
So Sean Diddy Combs, his ass is in jail. And who thought he was going to be getting out of prison or jail because he was a rich person? I did.
Really?
I was shocked that he was not going to be able to buy his way out of jail.
Mhm.
So yesterday, a federal judge ordered Sean Diddy Combs to remain in jail, which I'm actually okay. You're innocent until proven guilty, but I mean, the evidence is pretty overwhelming. Until his trial for sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, rejecting an appeal. Now, he's rich. He's got a boatload of money. His lawyers were requesting that he was released on bail. And this is the reason why. Now, again, he's innocent until proven guilty. And so I'm not trying to kind of pile on here, but it is this idea that, this is why there's that whole no cash bail type of thing. It's if you have money and even though you're guilty of a crime, you get to go on living your life. But if you're poor and you're innocent, you lose your job, you lose your family, even though you're innocent and you have to sit in jail. This is this whole debate, right? But, there's overwhelming evidence that Sean Diddy Combs has had a long, questionable, alleged history of being very inappropriate at the very least, and if not terrible to people. I mean, the stories, Kim, are
Violence,
awful.
forcing
Violence,
sex, beatings,
these
bad.
parties, drugging people, allegedly,
Allegedly.
male and female.
Yep.
It is horrific. And I'm not going to get into, all the allegations here, but I am just saying, and I'm not going to use the word happy, but I am pleased to see the justice system be no, you are a flight risk. You, due to the charges, you need to stay in jail until the hearing.
From what I understand, it also has to do with the attempted intimidation of a witness in the case.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm glad, obviously, I don't know what the conditions are. They're saying the conditions in the jail are inhumane. I would imagine that if you're Sean Diddy Combs, anything beyond a mansion seems inhumane. I can only imagine what it must seem like to be there. But yeah, you do alleged crime, you have to sit your ass in jail for a bit until.
What I'm interested, what I'm surprised about, and I guess you mentioned the money, what I shouldn't be surprised about is how long allegedly this went on with no one saying anything.
Well, there's non-disclosure agreements. Apparently he was making people sign these NDAs before they would even go to these parties. I was reading stories where people there was this one story of this one entertainment reporter that was invited to this party. And she was saying, she's like, I'm glad I didn't go to this party because my friends would never tell me anything when they came back from these parties. And she was saying, she's like, I did not feel comfortable going to a party that, one, my friends would not talk about when they came back, and two, that I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement to go to. Now, there was a Meek Mill video, and Luis, I don't know if that's what you're talking about. There was a Meek Mill video, a bodyguard that's been debunked allegedly, that apparently there was sound, there was video. I am not getting into any of this. I'm not going to play anything. I'm not going to do any of that. Okay. This apparently shows, sounds, videos. I'm not doing that. That's not this type of show. Okay. You can go on X and all the other types of online videos if you want to do all that. This is not that type of show. But if you want to do it, you can do it. But anyways, you can believe what you want to believe. But the evidence will be presented in court. But I'm just saying there are many reputable reporters, entertainment reporters, and people that are very close to Sean Diddy Combs that have said over the years, there's a lot of these stories that seem to be connected, that he is very questionable with these parties. And wow, how far people fall.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, damn. You never know. You never know. But you know who is, I guess, having a comeuppance? Did you see? Did you watch? I didn't watch because I don't really watch this show. But there is.
We talked about this last week. This lady who is I forget her name, but what is she
Anna
accused
Sorokin.
of? She's accused of swindling people for money.
Yes. Now she's the fake heiress. She had her whole like Anna Delvey. She was supposed to be this fake heiress. She claimed she was Anna Delvey. She's on Dancing with the Stars. That is her ankle bracelet.
Oh my God, she did bling it out.
She did bling it out. She says it's only a pound. It's not very heavy. Okay, so she was on Dancing with the Stars. She, I guess, moved forward. She kind of was in the middle of the pack. I did not watch it, but I took the picture because it happened this week on ABC. Apparently she did okay. And she made a point that's my dog. Just ignore him. She made a point of saying that she paid the restitution. Okay. But she's fighting extradition. So for everyone saying, why is she allowed to be on Dancing with the Stars? She's maintaining, look, I paid my restitution. I'm just kind of fighting the fact that they want to take me back to Germany for all the rest of it. So,
well, I think she watches the Nikki Maduro show, because last week you and I were joking about how ridiculous it was that we're glorifying a criminal being on this show, and that, we're laughing about the ankle monitor and how she should bling it out. And here we have a blinged out ankle monitor.
You can't have a black with that fancy thing. I wonder if it's going to match every costume that she does. It has to be.
Sure.
Well, she says it's light and she wants it really tight so it doesn't like move on her ankle. So it's just weird. I mean, this is if there is anything more like America's
weird right now.
It's like we have Dancing with the Stars with an ankle bracelet on. It's just so stupid. It is so freaking stupid. Okay, I have one more funny story. I have one more for you too. Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. I want you to do yours because let me do one more, and then I have one more to end the show because it's going to be your smile of the day. Do you know what's coming back? The Fire Festival. Did you follow
the Fire Festival that never was?
Okay, so the Fire Festival, if you guys didn't follow, this was several years ago. The Fire Festival was this festival that never was, that promised to be this thing that was in, I forget where it's supposed to be, but you're supposed to like rub elbows with all these celebrities for you bought a ticket and you were going to be with like Kardashians and all these celebrities. Yeah. I'm going to play you the video. Apparently, it's going to be another S show though. I want you to watch this video. No. This is the guy behind it. There's only so many tickets, but just listen towards the end of why it's going to be a S show, because again, they're overselling it. Here we go.
Yeah, it's happening. We're 7 months away, April 25th, 2025.
I love that for you. So the location is a private island.
It's in Mexico. It's like this incredible private island in the Caribbean Sea. It has the white sand beaches, the blue water, the whole fire vibe. And I think what's really important is people have no idea what to expect from fire. You're not going to be sitting there watching an artist like sing and dance on stage. You're going to be in your bathing suit. You're going to get wet. You might get a little dirty. We'll have some
You'll get
scuba
dirty.
diving, some skydiving,
Nice.
karate combat fights on the beach. And we're building this insane floating stage. So working at figuring out who the headliner is now to literally like walk on the water and perform in fire too.
I love that. So it's not going to be so music focused per se.
Music is the backdrop, but I really believe there's some magic in these small virgin remote islands. And I think there's nothing better than going with your friends and experiencing that magic. So I feel like it's my job to share that magic with 3,000 people. But a little challenge this week. Since we announced the location on Monday, people have applied for 20,000 tickets, and the island only holds 3,000 people.
So it's going to be an S show. 3,000 people and 20,000 people have applied. That's not including the celebrities that they're going to invite. So don't buy a ticket. Don't buy a ticket. They're trying to get, so Ja Rule was apparently attached to the first one. They're going to try to get 50 Cent. Do not buy tickets. Do not buy tickets. It's going to be an S show unless you want to watch it. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, do you want to just go just for the S of it all? But no, don't do it.
Did he not go to jail for the last one?
I
He's
think
a
so.
crook,
Yeah,
right?
he did. They did a whole like Netflix series about the whole, or in a Hulu series about the whole entire thing. It was just, I
charged
watched it.
people.
I was on social media following it with our friend Mud in the newsroom as it was happening, and people were stranded out there in the newsroom. I could not love it more. And it was like, yeah, it was just watching rich kids just be abandoned.
He charged people
A
up to
lot of money.
$100,000
Yeah.
for tickets to this thing.
To sit in an emergency hut. And they
stayed in these emergency huts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was so funny.
And it
And
didn't
that's
work
what
out.
happens when spoiled
Yeah.
kids have too much money and think that they're going to hang out with Kardashians. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do
Okay,
it.
what's your funny story?
Here's my story.
Okay.
They're coming out with protein powders because, everyone's on a health kick, right?
Of course.
They're coming out with these, Hershey is coming out with these protein powders and protein drinks
Okay.
that are based on their candy flavors. They have struck a deal with this company called C4 Energy, which is a top-selling supplement brand that has gained popularity because people are looking to work out. And they're making milk chocolate and Reese's peanut butter and chocolate will still be selling it as protein powders. The Jolly Rancher candies are going to be turned into bubbly energy drinks. And so what they're saying is they're going to tap into these brands that are more than 125 years old, the candy brands, and very nostalgic. And so,
Jolly
and with it,
Rancher, huh?
Hershey's saying it's a great opportunity for them to reach a whole new audience of health freaks. So here's what you have: Jolly Rancher, bubbly energy drinks, and Reese's peanut butter protein powder. Okay.
I'm trying to get more protein in. I'm not one of these. I'm not a protein powder person. I'd rather eat food as protein. That was where I would rather do it. Although I will say, if I was going to do one, I would rather go Reese's and Hershey's, not Jolly Rancher or bubble gum. Does that make sense? Like if I was going to go like one of these ways, I don't think I would go. I don't think I'd go Jolly Rancher or bubble gum. That sounds gross to me. It doesn't sound like something I would want to do. Although, if I was going to choose a sweet, I would choose Jolly Rancher. I don't bubble yum. No, thank you.
It
Ricky
seems
does no powdered
disappointing to me.
supplements. No powdered supplements at all. Yeah.
It seems like if you were into powdered supplements and it said Reese's on it, you might think it's going to taste like Reese's, but it's not a Reese's peanut butter cup, and you might be disappointed.
Yeah. I mean,
not candy.
It's not candy. Although if you're going to try to fool yourself, I don't know, man. In my opinion, I would rather just eat the candy. Like just adjust my day of calories and have the candy. Does that make sense?
No,
Does that
totally makes sense.
Okay.
Well, and it sounds reasonable, right?
Right.
It sounds
exactly.
much.
Chocolate milkshake. That sounds delicious. All right. I love that my dog is barking right now. Okay. Because it's totally, it leads me to my next story. Okay.
Okay.
This is the funniest story that I saw today. Okay. So this was in China. Okay, so China. This is the China Zoo was forced to admit something that was absolutely hilarious. Did you see the story? You know, people love pandas.
Yeah.
So they were trying to pull a fast one on people and saying that these really cute things were pandas, and they absolutely were not.
What is it?
They were chow chows. So they painted chow chow dogs as pandas in black and white paint, but then they started panting and barking.
Why are they doing this?
I don't know. I think they wanted just more pandas in their yards or in their zoos. And
Like, put the dogs in and paint their eyes black, and no one will know the difference.
Yeah, so they were a bunch of chow chow dogs, and so they just kept painting. Oh, I was cracking. Like they're like, yeah, no, that is so. Yeah, apparently they were doing that. So they called them panda dogs, and it was later discovered that the pandas were chow chows who were dyed with white and black paint.
Oh my
That was like
God.
my fate. I could not stop cracking up at that story today because then they started barking and panting, and they're like, no.
They're not panda dogs.
No, they're not panda dogs. Panda dog. They're so cute though. Yeah, I will admit that, Mama of Three Boys. I will say if they would have just admitted it, like been like,
Yeah.
look, we painted dogs as pandas. How cute is that? It's almost Halloween. Da, 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 da. Do you know what you're gonna dress up as? Are you gonna dress up as anything for Halloween?
I haven't even thought about it.
So now that I work at a school, my friend,
Oh, you have to.
and I'm so excited about it. So all the office ladies.
What are you going to be?
I think I've convinced them. I think I've convinced them to do a Minions theme. We're still kind of debating it.
Okay.
I want to do Minions because I want to wear overalls. I feel like I can use the overalls again, and I'm cheap. Well, and then my daughter is going to the Faye Webster concert. If you know who Faye Webster is, she's a singer, and apparently Faye Webster is really into the Minions, and so people that go to her concert are dressing up as Minions. So I'm already getting my daughter the goggles, the Minion goggles, and I was like, cool. I will be wearing those if I can keep the office ladies on the Minion tip, then I will wear them. So my cheap ass can totally do that. So yeah,
Have
I'm really
you
stoked
done
about
your
that.
homecoming dress shopping yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my daughter was asked to homecoming. She had her first HOCO proposal, which was really, really cute. Yeah, the boy that asked her did a whole like Harry Styles, who my daughter loves, themed sign, which was really, really cute. So yeah, she was very, very excited. Wasn't pleased with me because he came after she took a shower, so she wasn't cute enough, but I thought it was hilarious. So it was very, very funny. So
Can we talk about how homecoming dresses are so slutty?
yes,
They're
my daughter's
so
is very short and she needs
Oh
to
my
wear shorts
God.
underneath it, but it's yellow and it's cute. And I'm not one to care. I know
Yeah,
that you are. I'm not one to care, so I don't care.
It just surprises me. I mean, I agree with you that you got to pick your battles, right? And there are other things to worry about.
You got to wear it.
When you look at the where they're buying their dresses
yes,
and the
exactly.
websites, it's like
Oh,
dress after dress of too short, backless,
That's what they
almost
should name
down
the
to your
store.
rear end.
Yes.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh no, my daughter wanted to buy one that was extra small because we bought it online because that's
Sure.
what she wanted. And she's all extra small. And my daughter is very petite. You know,
Yeah.
my daughter's very petite. And I was like, we're going, and she's gained some weight. And I'm like, she's like extra small. I'm like, I think we're going small. And she's all, is it going to stay? Like, because it's strapless. And I was like, you need small. I was like, because I'm a medium, just to give you guys perspective here. And I was like, small. And then I'm so glad that I made that decision because I can't even imagine how short it would have been if I would have actually gave into the extra small.
I
So,
always
yeah.
size up, or my daughter's right in between two sizes, and I always buy the bigger one because I want the extra length.
Oh
So,
God.
yeah.
But again, you guys know that I'm like, you got to wear it.
Yep.
You got to deal with it. But the boy that she's going with, I absolutely adore. So it'll be whatever.
That's
so,
cute.
but yeah, I'm very excited. And it's a Pixar, it's a Disney theme. That's the theme of the HOCO. And every
Okay.
class gets a different. And so the sophomores are Pixar. So
Okay.
not that they're dressing up for the characters, but
Right.
whatever. So it'll be fun. So, yeah,
fun.
it's next weekend, but my daughter is actually going to her female cousin's homecoming with her this weekend. So it's
that's
very, very cute.
Yeah.
So she's going to have 2 homecomings. So it'll be a fun homecoming weekend. Does anybody know what homecoming actually is for?
Isn't it supposed to be the celebration of the home game at your school?
Oh, is that what it is? I never understood. I'm not a sporty cheerleader. I don't know. You're the cheerleader in my life. So
I mean, I never
Is that what it is?
questioned
The home game? Is that what it is? Because we've already had
Yeah.
football. We've already had home games.
I know. It's been
So I don't
pushed back and
understand.
pushed back and pushed back.
Okay, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it this way. We know it's an annual tradition.
Uh-huh.
It's to welcome back former members of the community, built around a central event like a banquet or a dance, most often a game of football. So you're welcoming back the
It's
community.
welcome back the alumni.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, we've already had a home game. I don't know. My mom was asking me, she's like, what is homecoming? And I was like, I don't know.
Were you not invited back every homecoming to your high school to cheer with the old cheerleaders?
Have you not noticed how alumni focused I am? So no, I was not invited back. Love. Rah, rah, shish kumbah. Yeah, no, not me. All right, you guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for being here on the Cocktails and the News live at 5 on Thursdays. We love you guys being here. Click the thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed and share this show with your friends. And thank you guys for donating to the show. Luis, thank you so much for all your donations. $5.
Yay.
Yeah, Trump is a clown. We agree so much. And JD does stand for just dumb. And thank you so much for the $5, the $2 donation. Oh, and I don't think we read your Kid Rock one. I hate Kid Rock would only impact his 5 fans. Kid Rock has fallen. Like, I wasn't a big fan of his, but geez, yeah, he has fallen. Cindy, thank you so much for the $10 donation. And we hope when VP Harris becomes president, Governor Newsom will not become Secretary of Energy. Yeah, he sucks. I mean, no, he sucks.
A quick note about Cindy. She sent me a message.
Oh, okay.
And she asked if we could mention the Alzheimer's walk. And I am totally down to do it. She walks, Cindy does, in honor of her late mother. I think it's the same Cindy. And she volunteers every year at the walk. She wants us to know that this year's North Bay Alzheimer's Walk is October 5th at Sonoma State. San Francisco's is October 19th at Pier 27. San Jose's Alzheimer Walk is September 28th at Lake Cunningham Park. That's coming up.
Yeah.
West Sacramento, September 20th, Stockton and Sassoon City, October 19th. And she writes that all of the money goes to Alzheimer's research and the Alzheimer's hotline. So thank you, Cindy, for putting that public service announcement out. And I hope people will donate and participate in the cure for Alzheimer's. Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy, also for all that information. And then finally, the Lady Beatrice comes in with a $5 donation. How long do you people give it before someone makes some true crime documentary on this guy? Are you talking about Diddy? I think maybe you're talking about Diddy. Is that who she's talking about? Or who
maybe
else?
She's talking about the fire guy.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe that guy too. Okay. So thank you.
Maybe she's talking about Vance or Trump.
Or Trump.
Let's
Who knows?
make a
We could do it
documentary on them all.
You know what also is, just to mark your calendars for those that have Netflix, the Menendez brothers documentary thingy, whatever, is starting tonight. If you have Netflix, I'm watching it. So there you go.
Is it Survivor? The new Survivor started yet?
Is it?
I think so.
CBS. Is that starting? Oh,
it's starting. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you for donating the super chat. You also can make donations, even if you watch on the recording. Thank you. Please support our show. It's the only way we can keep going. Go to thenikkimaduroshow.com. Sign up for our Patreon. We appreciate every single donation that we get. And it's a one-time monthly donation. So anything you donate, we really appreciate, because we're 100% crowd-funded. If you like PayPal, go to paypal.com. The email address is thenikkimaduroshow@gmail.com. And if you love barbecue, please support our sponsor, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. Just go to auntie-tabby's.com and get her guava barbecue sauce. It is good on tacos. It is good on chicken. It is good on every sort of meat. It is delicious. And if you use our coupon code NICKKIM, NIKKIM, you get 10% off every single time you order. So thank you to Auntie Tabby's, auntie-tabby's.com. All right, that's our show. Be back here next Thursday, live at 5, cocktails, news. You don't have to drink cocktails, but be here for the news. We love you so much. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.